Welcome to my series of videos on the business lifecycle. My name is Andrew Ayers. I'm an attorney who focuses on small businesses, helping them get started and grow, along with working with estate planning so we can create the wills and trusts and healthcare documents for those business owners. This is a series of videos on the business lifecycle. As you can see behind me, there's 8 to 9 steps depending upon where you are in the cycle. Not everything you're going to encounter will be something that you or your business is currently facing or will face in the future. However, at these various stops along the way, it's important to check in with those professionals in your life, your accountants, your attorneys, and others who can help you make sure that you're taking the correct next step. Today we're in the middle of the circles. It's a Venn diagram. We're right here where everything overlaps, and that's the filing with your state. If you've now finished the pre-filing, you've chosen your name, your owners, your form, you've set your lineup, now's the big day when we're going to file with the state you're in and get your business off the ground. Depending where you are, your initial filings will usually be done with your Secretary of State or your Department of State for corporations. You'll file an article of corporation, and the biggest question is, do you do it yourself or do you use a service? You can do it yourself in many states. It's simply filing the document online. A lot of times the state's website will actually fill your information in for you. But you can also use a corporate service. The advantage of using the corporate services are that they will take care of all these steps for you to make sure that it's done correctly. They will often then provide you with a black binder with your corporate documents and a corporate seal and stock certificates for you to fill in. So while it may seem more expensive to work with a corporate service, oftentimes that extra money will give you peace of mind to make sure that your filings were done correctly. When you're filing with the state, you'll need to understand first who is going to be the agent. The agent will be the person that the state will contact in case there's any issues. Next, you'll need to know who the incorporators are. These are going to be the initial members of your company, the people who are setting up your company. You'll also need to make sure you get a tax ID for your business. Whether a sole proprietorship or an LLC or an S corporation, you'll want to have a separate tax identification number for your business. It's a filing you can do online with the U.S. Federal government, and you can also get a state tax ID number if you'd like, but normally a federal EIN is all you will need. Now, after you've done your filings, you'll want to go to your bank and get your bank account set up. This is when that federal tax ID will come in handy, as the bank is going to want to know what's the tax ID for the business. After you have your bank account set up, if you're going to be taking payments from customers, I urge you to get a credit card processor. While I've worked with many people over the years who prefer just cash or check, the fact is many people these days only pay for things with debit cards or with credit cards. And although you're going to pay a small fee to process each transaction, it's better to receive 98% of your payments than be waiting for checks in the mail or waiting for a client to drive over with some cash. If you're in a state that requires sales tax on the goods and services that you're selling, you'll want to make sure you get your sales tax registration in order. And finally, check to see if there's any local business licenses that are needed. Your city or your town may have certain requirements for you to be able to open up a business. All of these steps when it comes to filing are one of the times when it's very important to speak to your accountants and your attorneys to make sure that everything is put together correctly. You want to make sure your tax ID and your tax filings are up to date so you're getting the best tax benefit. So if you need to reach out to an accountant or attorney, feel free to reach out to me. We can set up a legal strategy session to go over your legal options. And if you need an accountant to talk to, I've got a variety of accountants I work with across the country who'd be able to speak to you and help you get that business off the ground.